humanity all over the world. If you go to Trader Joe's, they pride themselves on having the best cherries from Germany, and they sell little bits of frozen basil that you can grow in your backyard in these little square ice cube trays from Israel, right? I mean, this is food grown on the other side of the planet, transported, harvested someplace else, transported here from the other side of the world. You know, and transportation can be by various. Some food is transported by boat, which is relatively energy efficient. Other food is transported by trains. Other food is transported by planes. And the amount of energy that goes into transporting the food varies depending upon the mechanism of transportation. It doesn't come necessarily directly to you. It goes to some type of big factory that processes the food. The purpose being to maintain its shelf life so that it lasts longer. But many of the steps that are involved in processing and packaging of food strip the food of their quality, of their taste, of their nutrition content, and generate a large amount of plastic packaging material that is not really, you know, an ideal situation for food. Okay, it does maintain the shelf life, but then you have the product of what to do with all this packaging material after you eat it. Okay, and then, you know, sold in stores. You eat it. You know, the best type of meal is a meal that comes out of as few packages, if not no packages, as possible, right? And it's always wise to buy just what you need and cook just what you need so that you don't have waste. When I was growing up, I was always told, when I was sitting at the table, and maybe it wasn't always the best thing to be told, but, you know, eat everything that's on your plate. There are starving people in other parts of the country, other parts of the world, right? But it's true, you know, food waste is a real shame. Because if it's wasted, then you have to dispose of it. And you end up with all of this decomposed organic matter in landfills, as well as all the packaging material that went with it if you're buying packaged food. So, a sustainable food system, in my opinion, minimizes all of these steps that are between the growing of the food and the eating of the food, and totally minimizes any waste left over beyond that. So, yeah, you know, the large food agricultural system has developed because everybody on this planet needs food in order to survive. And somewhere that food needs to be grown, and somehow it needs to be shipped to them without it spoiling. This planet is overpopulated, and with too many people comes the problem of feeding them, and it threatens food security. It threatens the possibility that there might not be enough food to feed the entire planet now and in the future. And so the population of our planet reached 7 billion people at the end of 2011. And the population of our planet keeps on growing by around 80 million people each year. And people estimate that the global population is going to reach or exceed 9 billion people by the year 2050, so less than 40 years. How are we going to feed all these people? Now, is our planet even capable of feeding that many people? And that relates to the idea of carrying capacity. The maximum load or population size that our planet's environment can accommodate without itself being degraded, so that it will be sustainable for future generations to feed our population as our planet persists. Okay? And we only have a limited amount of resources. Resources aren't all renewable. You know, And it requires food, water, habitat, and other resources to grow the food to feed us and to house us as well. So with 7 billion people already, 9 billion anticipated in less than 40 years, some scientists believe that we've already exceeded the planet's carrying capacity. And I've seen 2 estimates. I'm on the advisory board for the Lifeboat Foundation, and some of the members of the Lifeboat Foundation believe that the carrying capacity of our planet is only 1 billion people. So we've almost exceeded that tenfold, almost. Well, you know, it will be tenfold in less than 40 years. A more conservative estimate of the carrying capacity of Earth has been made by the Earth Policy Institute, and they believe that we reached the carrying capacity of 4.2 billion people in 1976. Either way, we've already exceeded our planet's capacity to feed ourselves without doing harm to the environment. And that should be obvious, because our planet is falling apart. Right? I mean, our planet is already suffering the consequences of man-made harm. And, you know, for example, global warming, which I'll talk about. And feel free to ask me questions if you have questions. Not that I can answer them. So those people who study carrying capacity, and I'm not really one of them, describe 2 scenarios for whether or not our planet, you know, for how global population interacts with the resources that are available. In one scenario called K selection, K stands kind of for constant. You know, people, you know, populations grow. And this can apply not just to human population, but to any population of any species within their particular place where they like to live, their environmental niche. You know, initially populations increase, rapid growth, but eventually the growth kind of peters out, it plateaus. But it doesn't come back down, it doesn't spike back down. Because it's reached a type of system called an equilibrium where the growth and the upkeep and the downkeep kind of balance each other out in equilibrium. And it's because population growth can be regulated by certain factors. And in a situation where there's this K selection where an equilibrium is reached, the equilibrium is reached because of factors such as like population control, people saying, you know, we really do need to worry about how many children we bring into this world, and so we limit the population growth, various means like birth control. And also, you know, just having less food available or deciding to eat less food also can regulate the growth. But if resources, including food, drop to such low levels, perhaps due to some type of disaster that wipes out the entire food source that a population depends upon, then instead of reaching some type of equilibrium, the population that was growing fat and happy all of a sudden declines rapidly, collapses. You can do a Google search for the word collapse to find a book written by a famous UCLA professor who studies this type of issue. And so in that case, you know, there's no balance and no equilibrium. Civilization ceases as they knew it at that time due to morbidity and mortality, death, disease and death. People die if the resources can't keep them alive.
And mostly here is as a S and J, you call them K and all, that's same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
So you look at the S and J.
What's S stand for?
That's a S.
Oh, sigmoidal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the shape of the curve. The
Yeah.
one that you call it K. So like
Yeah.
S.
So it's a sigmoidal curve. K standing for constant,
Right.
some type of equilibrium,
Right.
but it's the same.